Hi, I'm Avery and you're watching DJI Tutorials. In this video, I'll show you how to adjust the camera gimbal settings on the Mavic Pro in the DJI Go 4 app. Understanding how to change the gimbal settings is helpful because you may want the camera to behave differently depending on what you're doing. For example, if you're surveying, you may want to move the camera around quickly, but if you're shooting a film, you'll probably want slower, smoother movements and different shortcuts. To get started, tap the icon with 3 dots in the top right-hand corner of your camera view to access the general settings. Now, in the left-hand navigation that appears, tap on the 6th icon down from the top to enter the gimbal settings. Here you'll find a few areas of adjustment. The first is to change the gimbal mode. By default, the gimbal mode is set to follow. This mode automatically adjusts the gimbal to maintain a level horizon line when flying the aircraft. If you're not familiar, a horizon line represents the point of view of an observer. Outdoors, this refers to the boundary where sky meets land or water. The second gimbal mode on the Mavic Pro is FPV for first-person view. In this mode, the gimbal will stay locked with the motion of the aircraft, giving you a greater sense of the aircraft's movement during turns. Next down the menu is Advanced Settings. Tap this to find 4 advanced gimbal settings. The first setting you can change here is the Gimbal Tilt EXP. Slide this to control how quickly the camera moves up and down when you roll the gimbal dial on the controller. If you want to have smooth and slow gimbal movement in your video, set it to around 30 to 40%. The next setting is to enable upward gimbal tilt limit to 30 degrees. By default, the Mavic Pro gimbal will not tilt above 0 degrees, which is looking straight at the horizon. This limits the camera from getting the propellers in frame. If you'd like, you can turn this setting on to allow the gimbal to tilt up 30 degrees beyond 0 degrees. The third setting here lets you adjust the gimbal tilt smoothness. Slide this to make the gimbal ease in and out of movement. This is helpful for creating smoother, more cinematic shots. The fourth and final setting in the Advanced Gimbal menu is to enable synchronized gimbal pan follow. This setting is turned on by default and provides smoother video when the aircraft yaws. If you turn this setting off, the camera will yaw directly with the aircraft. If you'd like to change the advanced settings back to the default settings, tap Reset Settings at the bottom of the Advanced Settings screen. Going back to the main Gimbal Settings menu, you'll see 3 direct settings in blue. The first setting here, Centering Camera, lets you quickly move the camera from either forward or downward. Just tap the text to toggle between forward or down. The second setting here allows you to adjust the gimbal roll manually. Tap the text and it will bring you back to the camera view, now including an area to adjust the gimbal roll. Tap the arrow on the left to adjust the roll left, and the arrow on the right to adjust the roll right. Keep tapping to further adjust the roll in 0.1 degree increments up to 10 degrees either way. Finally, if you go back to the main gimbal settings menu, you'll find an option to calibrate the gimbal automatically. When you choose this item, a tip will appear telling you to make sure the aircraft is level and nothing is obstructing the range of motion of the gimbal. Make sure the aircraft is on a level surface and tap OK to begin calibration. The DJI Go 4 app will show the calibration progress on screen, which takes a few moments. When successfully completed, the app will display a confirmation saying, "Gimbal calibrated." Understanding the gimbal settings on the DJI Mavic Pro will help you fine-tune the camera movement the way you want.